The world is witnessing a significant shift in global power dynamics. A bloc of nations once seen as disparate emerging economies is now asserting itself with increasing confidence. This group is known as BRICS. Originally comprising Brazil, Russia, India, and China, it later welcomed South Africa. Today, BRICS is expanding further, signaling a growing desire among many countries for a more multipolar world order. Its influence is no longer a subject of abstract debate. It is a tangible reality reshaping international relations, economic policies, and geopolitical calculations across continents. This transformation warrants close attention. The rise of BRICS is not an overnight phenomenon. It has been a gradual process, fueled by the economic growth of its members and a shared, albeit varied, dissatisfaction with existing global governance structures. These structures, largely established in the aftermath of World War II, are often perceived as being dominated by Western interests. BRICS offers a platform for its members to voice their perspectives and to seek reforms that better reflect the current distribution of global power. The group's summits and initiatives are increasingly scrutinized by policymakers and analysts worldwide, eager to understand its trajectory and implications. Many observers see BRICS as a counterweight to established Western alliances. Its members are diverse in their political systems, economic models, and foreign policy priorities. Yet they find common ground in their aspiration for greater autonomy and a more equitable global system. This shared ambition is a powerful adhesive, binding them together despite their differences. The collective economic heft of the BRICS nations already makes them a formidable force. Their growing coordination on international issues suggests their political influence will only continue to expand in the coming years, demanding a recalibration of global strategies. The implications of a stronger, more assertive BRICS are profound. It challenges the unipolar moment that followed the Cold War. It introduces new complexities into international diplomacy. It also offers opportunities for new forms of cooperation and development. Understanding the motivations, strategies, and internal dynamics of BRICS is crucial for navigating this evolving global landscape. The group's journey is a key indicator of the direction in which our world is heading, a world increasingly defined by multiple centers of power and influence, moving away from a singular dominant force. The recent expansion of BRICS is a clear testament to its growing appeal and strategic importance. At the October 2024 summit in Kazan, Russia, the bloc formally welcomed Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates. This was followed by Indonesia's accession in January 2025, further broadening the group's geographic and cultural diversity. This enlarged formation, often referred to as BRICS Plus, now represents a significantly larger portion of the global community. The sheer demographic weight of these nations is staggering, underscoring the bloc's potential to reshape global narratives and priorities by representing a vast swath of humanity. With this expansion, BRICS Plus now accounts for approximately 45% of the world's population. This demographic dominance translates into considerable economic clout. The combined gross domestic product of the BRICS Plus nations, when measured in purchasing power parity terms, exceeds 35% of the global total. This figure alone positions the bloc as a major economic powerhouse, capable of influencing global economic trends and development trajectories. It is a clear signal that economic gravity is shifting, with emerging economies playing an increasingly central role in the world's financial architecture and future growth prospects. Furthermore, the expanded BRICS Plus holds significant sway in global energy markets. The group now produces around 30% of the world's oil. Key new members like Iran and the UAE are major oil producers, adding to Russia's existing energy resources. This concentration of energy production within a single bloc has profound implications for global energy security and pricing. It provides BRICS Plus with considerable leverage in international affairs, particularly in an era where energy remains a critical driver of economic activity and geopolitical maneuvering. The strategic implications of this energy consolidation cannot be overstated. The expansion is not merely about numbers, it is a strategic move. 9 other nations have been designated as partner countries, and around 24 more, including significant players like Malaysia, Thailand, and even North Korea, have expressed interest in joining. This suggests a widespread desire among nations in the global south to align with a bloc perceived as offering an alternative to Western-dominated institutions. The magnetic pull of BRICS indicates a growing movement towards greater geopolitical diversification and a rebalancing of global influence away from traditional centers of power. Understanding the driving forces behind BRICS requires a closer look at the motivations of its core members. Russia, for instance, views BRICS as a cornerstone for building a post-American world order. Especially following its invasion of Ukraine and the subsequent Western sanctions, Moscow sees the bloc as a vital platform to circumvent economic isolation. It aims to develop trade, finance, and investment mechanisms that operate independently of U.S. control. For Russia, BRICS is not just an economic alliance, it is a geopolitical imperative for asserting its sovereignty and influence on the global stage. China, the economic behemoth within the group, utilizes BRICS to strategically expand its influence across the global south. Beijing sees the bloc as a vehicle for promoting an alternative vision of global governance, one that is less dominated by Western institutions and norms. China actively works to strengthen economic, security, and cultural cooperation within BRICS. This serves its broader goals of fostering a more multipolar world, where its own power and perspectives are given greater weight. BRICS provides China with a multilateral forum to advance its interests and project its soft power. India, another founding member, approaches BRICS with a nuanced perspective. New Delhi values the bloc for its potential to promote multipolarity and enhance India's leadership role in the global south. However, India is also cautious about BRICS becoming an overtly anti-Western or China-dominated alliance. It strives to maintain a balance, ensuring that the group serves its strategic interest without alienating other key international partners. India's participation is crucial in shaping the bloc's agenda and preventing it from being steered too far in any single ideological direction, thereby preserving its diverse character. Brazil and South Africa, the other original members, share a common desire for a more equitable global system. Brazil, for example, plans to use its 2025 BRICS presidency to focus on less controversial but globally significant issues like food security and the green transition. South Africa, similarly, aims to reduce its dependency on Western financial systems and amplify its voice on the African continent and beyond. Both nations see BRICS as a means to enhance their international standing and advocate for the interests of developing countries, promoting a more inclusive and representative global order. The motivations of the newly inducted BRICS members, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and Indonesia, are diverse yet share common threads. Many of these nations are seeking financial assistance and greater opportunities for trade conducted in their national currencies. This desire stems from a wish to reduce reliance on the US dollar and Western financial institutions, which can be subject to political pressures. Joining BRICS offers a pathway to explore alternative financial mechanisms and build more resilient economic partnerships, fostering greater economic sovereignty for these aspiring nations. Beyond purely economic considerations, new members are also looking to diversify their partnerships. They see BRICS as a platform to engage with major global players beyond the traditional Western sphere of influence. For countries like Egypt and Ethiopia, BRICS membership can provide access to development assistance and infrastructure investment from powerful economies like China and India. This diversification is a strategic imperative, allowing them to balance their foreign relations and avoid overdependence on any single bloc or power, thereby enhancing their diplomatic flexibility on the world stage. For Iran, membership in BRICS offers a particularly significant opportunity. It provides a way to counter Western dominance and mitigate the impact of US sanctions. By aligning with BRICS, Iran hopes to find new markets for its oil, access alternative financial systems, and strengthen its political ties with non-Western powers. This move is a clear statement of its intent to resist international isolation and build a more multipolar world where its influence is recognized. The UAE, a key financial and trade hub, likely sees BRICS as a means to expand its trade and investment opportunities globally. Indonesia, the most recent addition as of January 2025, likely views BRICS membership as complementary to its other strategic goals. While it also seeks OECD membership to achieve developed country status by 2045, BRICS offers a valuable forum to engage with major emerging economies and strengthen its voice in global governance debates. For all new members, BRICS represents a chance to amplify their influence on the world stage, contribute to shaping a new global order, and pursue their national development agendas with a broader range of partners, reflecting a changing international landscape. Section 5. De-dollarization dreams, BRICS and the challenge to monetary orthodoxy. A central and frequently discussed ambition within the BRICS consortium is the desire to reduce the overwhelming dominance of the US dollar in the global financial system. This objective has gained particular traction as geopolitical tensions have risen, and the use of financial sanctions has become a more common tool of Western foreign policy. Many BRICS nations perceive the dollar's supremacy as a source of vulnerability, granting the United States significant leverage over their economies and international transactions. Thus, finding alternatives has become a strategic priority for the bloc's members seeking greater monetary autonomy. Russia has been especially vocal and active in pursuing de-dollarization. Faced with extensive Western sanctions, Moscow is aggressively working to develop trade, finance, and investment tools that operate outside of US-controlled mechanisms. This includes promoting the use of national currencies in bilateral trade with BRICS partners and other friendly nations. The development of alternative payment systems and financial messaging platforms is also a key focus for Russia, as it seeks to build a more resilient financial infrastructure immune to Western pressures and control, thereby safeguarding its economic sovereignty. However, the path to significantly diminishing the US dollar's global role is fraught with challenges. While the rhetoric around de-dollarization is strong, practical implementation has been slower and more complex than anticipated. The US dollar remains deeply entrenched as the world's primary reserve currency, favored for its liquidity, stability, and the depth of US financial markets. Proposals for a common BRICS currency, for example, face significant hurdles, including the diverse economic conditions, monetary policies, and political priorities of member states. Achieving consensus on such a monumental undertaking is a daunting task. Despite these obstacles, the collective push by BRICS nations to increase the use of local currencies in trade and to explore alternative financial arrangements is gradually making inroads. The new development bank, established by BRICS, is already dispersing loans in local currencies. While a full-scale displacement of the dollar seems unlikely in the near term, these efforts contribute to a slow erosion of its unchallenged supremacy. This incremental shift could eventually lead to a more diversified global monetary system, reflecting the multipolar economic reality that BRICS champions, offering greater financial stability for its members. Section 6. Shifting tectonic plates, geopolitical ripples, and oil's central role. The expansion and growing assertiveness of BRICS are undeniably sending geopolitical ripples across the globe. The 2024 BRICS Summit in Kazan, Russia, was more than just a meeting. It symbolized a palpable shift in global politics. It highlighted a growing resentment among many nations, particularly in the global south, towards the US-led world order that has prevailed for decades. There is an increasing openness among middle powers to align with countries like Russia and China, not necessarily out of shared ideology, but from a desire for a more fragmented and autonomous international system where their voices carry more weight. Oil geopolitics plays a particularly crucial role in this evolving landscape. With the expanded BRICS Plus now producing approximately 30% of the world's oil, the bloc's influence over global energy markets has significantly increased. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has already reshaped global oil flows, with Moscow redirecting its discounted crude exports towards BRICS members like China and India, as well as other nations such as Turkey and Singapore. This shift has created new energy partnerships and dependencies, altering traditional supply chains and market dynamics in profound ways, challenging existing energy governance structures. The coordinated actions of oil-producing nations within and associated with BRICS, such as Russia's involvement in OPEC+, further amplify the bloc's geopolitical leverage. Decisions by OPEC+, like the announced reduction in oil production by 1.2 million barrels per day, directly impact global oil prices and economic stability. The increasing oil trade between BRICS members, often settled in national currencies, also contributes to the de-dollarization effort and strengthens the economic ties within the bloc. This energy nexus provides BRICS with a powerful tool to exert influence and pursue its strategic objectives on the world stage. This confluence of economic heft, demographic weight, and energy dominance allows BRICS to project power and challenge established norms more effectively. Many member states, including India, South Africa, and Egypt, explicitly see BRICS as a platform to promote multipolarity and enhance their global influence, pushing for a world where decisions are not dictated by a single power, or a small group of Western nations. The strategic implications of this collective push are far-reaching, potentially leading to a more contested and balanced international order where diverse interests must be accommodated. Section 7. The View from Within. Internal Complexities and Operational Hurdles. Despite its growing influence and ambitious agenda, BRICS is not without its internal challenges and operational limitations. The very diversity that gives the bloc its broad appeal also contributes to its complexities. Member states encompass a wide range of political systems, economic development levels, and national interests. This heterogeneity can make consensus building a slow and arduous process. Often BRICS summits conclude with grand statements of intent, but tangible follow-through on ambitious initiatives can be hampered by these internal contradictions and differing priorities among its members. Geopolitical rivalries also persist within the bloc, most notably between its two Asian giants, China and India. These two nations share a disputed border and have distinct strategic visions for Asia and the world. While they cooperate within the BRICS framework on certain issues, their underlying competition can limit the depth and scope of the bloc's collective actions. Brazil too has its own set of interests, and sometimes finds itself balancing its commitments to BRICS with its relationships with Western powers. These internal dynamics create uncertainties about the group's future trajectory and its ultimate impact on global governance. India in particular plays a crucial role in navigating these internal complexities. New Delhi is keen to ensure that BRICS does not become solely an anti-Western platform or a vehicle for Chinese dominance. It actively works to balance the agenda, promoting issues that resonate with the broader global South while safeguarding its own strategic autonomy. This balancing act is vital for maintaining the bloc's cohesion and credibility. The varied motivations of individual members mean that the group's direction is constantly being negotiated, which can sometimes lead to a perception of inconsistency or a lack of unified purpose. Furthermore, the operational capacity of BRICS institutions, while growing, is still developing. The new development bank, for instance, has made progress, but faces challenges in scaling up its operations to rival established international financial institutions like the World Bank or the IMF. The bloc's effectiveness will ultimately depend on its ability to translate shared aspirations into concrete, coordinated actions that deliver tangible benefits to its members and contribute to a more equitable global order. Overcoming these internal hurdles is essential if BRICS is to fulfill its transformative potential. Section 8. Navigating a multipolar future. BRICS potential global impact. The emergence of a more robust and expanded BRICS clearly signals a move towards a multipolar world. This is a world where power and influence are more diffuse, shared among several major state and non-state actors, rather than concentrated in one or two dominant poles. Many BRICS members, particularly countries like India, South Africa, and Brazil, explicitly champion this vision of multipolarity. They see it as a more democratic and equitable arrangement, offering smaller and medium-sized nations greater agency and a louder voice in international affairs, moving beyond historic power imbalances. The potential impact of BRICS on the future world order is multifaceted. Economically, the bloc's efforts to promote trade in national currencies and establish alternative financial institutions could gradually reshape global finance. While not an immediate overhaul, this could lead to a more diversified international monetary system, less reliant on a single currency. This shift could offer greater financial stability and autonomy for developing economies. The sheer economic size of BRICS, plus, also means its collective policy decisions on trade, investment and development will increasingly influence global economic trends and growth patterns. Politically, BRICS provides a significant platform for coordinating a common stance on global issues, from climate change to United Nations reform. By speaking with a more unified voice, these nations can exert greater pressure for changes in global governance structures that they perceive as outdated or unrepresentative. This collective diplomacy can challenge the narratives and policy preferences of established Western powers, leading to more complex negotiations but potentially more inclusive outcomes. The bloc serves as a focal point for nations seeking alternatives to the traditional US-led international framework. However, the extent of BRICS' impact will depend on its ability to maintain internal cohesion and translate its aspirations into effective action. The group is driven more by a shared dissent against the current system than by a fully cohesive, affirmative vision for a new one. Some nations, like Indonesia, are cautiously balancing their interest in BRICS with other strategic goals, such as OECD membership. This careful navigation by individual members will shape the bloc's collective trajectory. Nevertheless, BRICS undeniably represents a significant and growing force that is actively working to reshape the contours of the 21st century world order. Section 9. Conclusion. BRICS, architect or agitator in the evolving world order. As we stand in mid-2025, BRICS has firmly established itself as a pivotal actor on the global stage. Its recent expansion has not only amplified its economic and demographic weight, but has also underscored a widespread desire among nations for a more balanced and representative international system. The motivations driving its members, both old and new, converge on the common themes of seeking greater autonomy, fostering multipolarity, and challenging the long-standing dominance of Western-led institutions and norms. This collective aspiration is a powerful undercurrent reshaping international relations. The bloc's strategies, particularly its push for de-dollarization and its increasing influence in energy geopolitics, indicate a clear intent to recalibrate global power dynamics. While the path is laden with internal complexities and external resistance, the momentum is undeniable. BRICS is no longer just a talking shop, it is an evolving ecosystem of nations actively seeking to build alternative frameworks for trade, finance, and political cooperation. The new development bank and initiatives to promote local currency trade are tangible steps in this direction, signaling a long-term commitment to these goals. However, the internal diversity and sometimes divergent interests within BRICS present ongoing challenges. Geopolitical rivalries, differing economic capacities, and varying degrees of commitment to a unified agenda can act as brakes on its ambitions. The group's success will hinge on its ability to manage these internal contradictions and forge a more cohesive, actionable vision. It must move beyond being a symbol of dissent to becoming a constructive force for global governance reform, offering viable and attractive alternatives rather than simply opposing the existing order. Ultimately, BRICS is poised to be a significant shaper of the future world order. Whether it becomes a primary architect of new global structures or remains a powerful agitator for change, its influence will be profound. The rise of BRICS signifies that the era of undisputed unipolarity is over, and the 21st century will be characterized by a more complex, contested, and ultimately more multipolar distribution of power. Navigating this new landscape will require adaptability, dialogue, and a willingness from all global actors to engage with this increasingly influential bloc.